This is a chilling personal account. You have two very distinct, terrifying experiences here: the burglary while you were 12, and the disturbing encounter with your neighbor as a small child. Since you are telling this as a personal memoir, I have polished the English, improved the flow, and heightened the suspense while keeping your authentic voice. Title: The Echoes of an Empty House. The night the safety broke. I remember this night like it was yesterday, even though I'm 26 now, and it happened when I was only 12. My parents had gone out for the night, leaving me with my 18-year-old brother, Zach. At first, I was thrilled. The house felt massive, and having it to myself felt like a taste of true freedom. Zach, however, had other plans. He told me he was slipping out for a few hours with friends, and made me promise not to tell our parents. I agreed. Why wouldn't I? I wanted the place to myself anyway. But as the sun went down, the freedom started to feel a lot like vulnerability. I settled in the den and made the classic mistake. I put on a scary movie. Halfway through, every creak in the floorboards and every rustle of the wind against the glass felt like a threat. Eventually, I couldn't take it. I turned off the TV and sprinted upstairs like a kid running from demons. I locked myself in my room, played Call of Duty Zombies to drown out the silence, and eventually drifted into a light sleep. The intruder. A sudden vibration woke me. The front door had closed. I assumed it was Zach, but the sounds that followed were wrong. Instead of heading straight to his room, someone was lingering downstairs, subtle thuds, dragging sounds, and soft footsteps. I looked out the window. Zach's car wasn't in the driveway. Panic surged. I had no cell phone. I tiptoed to my bedroom door, knowing the lock was flimsy enough to be picked with a fingernail. Terrified, I squeezed into the small crawl-in closet built into my wall and pulled the door shut. Seconds later, my bedroom door creaked open. I sat in the pitch black, listening to someone move through my room. I heard the floorboards groan under their weight and the sound of my things being shifted. Every second felt like an hour. I prayed it was Zach playing a sick joke, but the heavy, unfamiliar silence told me otherwise. Eventually, the footsteps faded away. I stayed in that closet for 2 hours, paralyzed, until I heard Zach actually come home, yelling my name in a panic. When I stepped out, the house was a wreck. Electronics were gone, drawers were emptied. Someone had been hunting through my house while I was inches away. My dad was furious at Zach's negligence, but for me, the punishment was the memory, the feeling of hiding in the dark while a stranger claimed our safe zone. The neighbor with the knife. That wasn't my first brush with terror. Years earlier, when I was barely out of kindergarten, I lived with my grandparents. We had a neighbor named David, a friend, who drank beer with my uncle and helped my grandpa with yard work. One evening, my grandpa left to pick up my grandma from bingo. He told me not to answer the door, but minutes after he left, David knocked. Through the door, he told me he knew everyone was out. In my child's mind, he was a friend, so I opened the door. David was drunk, swaying, and angry. He didn't want to wait for my grandpa. He grabbed me by the shoulders, his grip like iron, and dragged me into the kitchen. He pulled a large knife from the drawer and pressed the cold tip against my belly. "Do you want to be stabbed?" he hissed. He dragged the blade across my throat to show me he was serious. Just as I thought it was over, I heard my grandpa's truck. When my grandma walked in and saw the scene, she screamed. My grandpa charged in with a rage I'll never forget, overpowering David and throwing him out into the night. Strange thing is, we never saw David again. No police were called. Years later, my grandma hinted that my grandpa had gone hunting late that same night. In our small town, no one would question a hunter with a bloody tarp in the back of his truck. The lesson in the silence. Whether it was a stranger in the dark or a neighbor with a knife, those nights taught me a hard lesson early on. The walls of a house are only as safe as the people you let inside them. Even now, at 26, I still find myself double-checking the locks. Because I know that sometimes the imaginary demons we run from when we turn off the lights are actually very real. Next step for you. Would you like me to create a dramatic book-style cover image for this story? Or perhaps help you write a script version if you plan on making a video out of this?